Hey Janelle,
Hello.
how are you today?
You know.
You know.
I can't
Okay,
even, I'm at the point of quarantine. I don't even front no more with
you
the
like
fine.
whatever it is. I
Y'all
woke
know how
up.
I am. I'm the same way you are, nigga. Oh,
I
can I say
woke up.
nigga on here? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. I got a potty mouth too. Don't worry, we in it. Okay, so I'm actually start this off by having you introduce yourself, and if you could start with your pronouns, and then tell us whatever you want us to know about you.
Oh man.
I
I
know.
never want anybody to know anything about me. But I will say, I'm Janelle James. My pronouns are she and her. Are those the only two? Okay.
Yeah, she, her, hers. Yeah.
She, her, diva. And
Yes.
this is just my wig talking today, but
Yes.
diva wig, and
Come through.
I'm a comedian and a person sometimes,
Oh.
depending on what stage of quarantine I'm in.
That's
Uh,
right.
yeah, and happy to be here.
I'm so happy that you're here. So I'm gonna start with the small black folks question, which I think will be fun. And it's Judith. Judith, our producer, came up with this question, and I've been thinking about
Okay.
it all night. And I don't know if I have an answer, but I will give you an answer. So, but you go first, which is, uh, who are your dream black celebrity parents?
Oh man.
That's a
Well,
good
it's so
question.
funny you mentioned Whoopi earlier, just a
Yes,
couple seconds. Whoopi would definitely be. I love her,
yes, we do
and she
love Whoopi.
seems like a mom. She seems like no nonsense. She seems like she could cook. You know what I mean?
Like a mom who would like let you smoke a little bit.
A little bit, good conversations. Like she will see you as a person. You know what I mean?
Yes,
But not let you get away with too much. I guess because I'm
yes,
a mom. Like if you had asked me this 20 years ago, I'd probably be like Beyonce or whatever. You know what I mean? But
yes.
now I'm like, I want a mommy. You know?
Will somebody take care of me in this
Right. I want a big
quarantine?
titty hug. You know.
Yes.
And yeah, I love Whoopi. I mean, do I even need a dad? But let
I
me
would,
think.
yeah, if you got Whoopi, Whoopi can handle it all.
And she has the best
Independent.
quote. I don't know if you've heard her quote when she asked about they asked her why she's not married. She said she don't want nobody in her house. I
I
thought that was
have. I tell that to my husband once a week. I'm like, you lucky I'm not
and
Whoopi.
since we started quarantine, I've seen people like joking, like I bet Whoopi did it. I bet she don't. I'm sure. I'm sure she's still fine.
I'm
You know
sure
what I mean?
she's fine, honey.
I bet she wish she had men always trying to wish
No.
that you wish they were around. But anyway, yeah, I love Whoopi. Let me think of a dude. Ugh.
Or it could be
I mean,
two
this is
moms. It could be two
too
moms.
much. I
Why
am not
not?
progressive, obviously. Uh, uh, nah, I just want Whoopi. I just want Whoopi.
Done.
I can't think of a male celebrity that I would want to be my dad that I also don't want to sleep with. So that's
Hey.
weird. That's just weird. So
That's what.
I
That's just what it is. Okay,
single
let me.
mom Whoopi and her, cool daughter me.
Absolutely. Wait, okay. Who do I want as my mom? I continue to think Felicia Rashad, and I don't know. I don't
I
know if
don't
that's the
know
Claire
her.
Huxtable of it
It,
all,
it
but
definitely is.
yeah, I guess.
And it's a hard question for me too because I don't really pay attention to celebrities, and
Yeah,
so it is hard to separate them
from their
from their
work
character. And
sometimes.
I'm a
Yes,
very much like, oh, that's not that people ask me about people. I'm like, I don't know that person. You know what I mean? So it's hard for me.
the
But
the
now,
Mariah Carey. I don't know her. You're like, I don't know her.
exactly. No, well, I don't know them as a person.
Yes,
And I feel like Whoopi, she's been on The View, especially since she's been there so long. She's now herself. I feel like I know
yes,
who Whoopi is. So I feel
yes.
comfortable saying her. Saying somebody like,
Claire Huxtable. You're like,
Claire
I don't.
Huxtable. You
That's
don't know
fake.
what?
Like
She
that's
probably
fake.
cool, but who knows? I would say Debbie Allen. Debbie Allen seems
Yes,
cool.
absolutely. I was gonna actually say like a Debbie Allen, Felicia Rashad, like
Combo.
orphanage, like that I could just be in. Would be
School for wayward children. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I would
When
do
you learn how
that.
to dance and.
Yes. Also, I can't believe. Well, I don't see. So Oprah I would want Oprah as my auntie. I feel like I
I
need
feel
her
like
as.
Oprah tell you not to touch stuff all the time. Don't go in there. What you doing? Her house is too
That
pristine.
is so specific. Don't touch that. You can't touch that.
Yeah.
Get out that room.
And
Yes,
and then the torture would be that she lives in a house where you want to touch everything. So you're just
absolutely.
like, where can I go?
She got shit you ain't never seen in your
Exactly. And
life.
she like, what are you doing? Like, I just feel like she has that type of presence. She the type of mom. She's solid. She's solid on the feet. So you think
You think you can sneak in,
you
but
think you sneaking, and she what you doing?
what
So
you
I
doing?
can't.
I
She
can
makes me
hear you.
nervous. I think that's
Oh,
what it is. Is she's
yes.
too larger than life. I can't.
She's larger than life, and I just feel like the vase, just the vase at the entrance
I'm
cost
gonna break
a
some shit as
college
soon as I get
tuition.
in there. As soon as I get adopted, I'm breaking shit. I don't want the pressure.
I feel like the move is to walk in their house and break something right away, so you get the nerves out. Just like break something right away. Be like, see, okay, cool. Now we can relax.
She probably has shit just for breaking. Like, okay, here you go. Go ahead and be clumsy real quick and don't break my other shit. Thank you.
She puts the breakable shit at the foyer. She's like, here's
Right.
the breakable shit in the front. Get
I
it
know
out.
you're nervous. I'm Oprah. Go ahead and run into some shit.
Absolutely. Okay, well, those are good parents.
Yeah.
We got good parents. We got the
Come to my house. Come to me and Whoopi house. No, look, I'm so into it now. I am going nuts in quarantine because I'm now there. I'm like so excited. Like after this, I'm going to Whoopi's house.
Let's stay there in this quarantine. What
Yes.
does your house with Whoopi look like? If you're the
Oh
daughter
my
of Whoopi,
God.
what is your house? Where do you live? What does it look like?
Okay. Where does she live? I guess she lives in New York, I would think.
Yes.
She probably has multiple
She
houses
probably has
first.
homes, honey. Home.
But you know, we in New York.
Yes.
For the winter season. Okay.
Okay.
And she owns like a penthouse, like apartment, doorman building.
Oh, yes.
Oh gosh. Central Park West.
Yes. You got a view of the full park. Yes.
Right. But it's not stuffy. You know what I mean? It's not like you said, don't touch nothing.
Right.
She has don't touch nothing spaces.
Sure. But she knows that those are her spaces. But in general,
you don't go there. Let's see.
What do y'all
kitchen, like one of those kitchens, everybody in there, you know,
yes.
come over, movie room.
Yes.
You know, I just feel like warm with her, even
like
though
everyone wants to come to her house. Everyone wants to come to your and
but I feel
house.
like people have an idea of her being like maybe cold, but I don't feel that from her. She's one celebrity, which aren't many, that I would love to meet.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I was her assistant. I know I didn't lead with that, but I was her personal assistant. I'm always like, do I tell people that or not?
Well, now I mean, I'm hoping you're saying that because now you're going to say she's actually mad cool.
She's wonderful. Yes. If she wasn't, I would have been like, yes.
I'd be like, can we take a break? Tell me what's going on.
Let me stop recording.
That makes me happy because there ain't nothing worse than finding out somebody's a monster that you admire, and which is why I don't admire nobody.
That's why you don't put nobody on. Sometimes
that whole "don't meet your heroes" thing is so true.
It can be real sometimes, for sure. Yeah. Wait, I got to tell you my Felicia Rashad and Debbie Allen.
Yeah, where y'all live?
Okay,
I feel like I ain't had enough time to think about it. Now I'm stressed.
I think we live downtown. I think we live in the West Village.
West Village.
Yes. I think we have like a townhouse or a brownstone in the West Village.
Why didn't I do Brooklyn? You see what I'm saying? I just can't even.
You should have. You should have. And then I think it's colorful. I think when you walk in, there's like there are accent walls. I think there's like delicious black art just everywhere.
She definitely got one of them masks, them like full-size masks.
Absolutely. Yes, a full-size mask. And she has the little light at the museum light at the top. So at nighttime.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think that there's a movie room, but I also think that like you're not allowed in there. I think it's just adults only. I think there are a lot of adult only areas, you know, where there's like, you know, the bar and the
what it smell like. It's definitely some candle incense things going on up in there.
Lavender and amber.
Yes. Whereas I feel like Whoopi is more of a like clean, fresh linen.
Sure, a lily.
You know, a lily, exactly.
I'm with you. Okay, last part of this. So you and I, you know, we're the children of Whoopi and Felicia and Debbie, but we're going to our auntie's house, Oprah. All right.
Okay.
What do
man, I'm shook.
What do we think the Oprah house look like?
I mean, she in a house. She upstate.
That's real. She's upstate.
You know what I mean? She upstate.
She not doing the commute.
She got land.
Yes.
We not even in her house. We in the back cottage. We in the thing that she had Stedman in when he had Corona, where she was just like, okay, I see you in 14 days. Like, we not even allowed in the
We
big
went to the
house.
fake entrance. She's like, here's the
Right.
entrance. This is my house. She's like faking. This is my, I promise. This
We
is
telling everybody we've been in
her.
her house till we see a Vanity Fair interview with her interiors. You're like, wait, that's not what I saw. But
I didn't see that room.
Yeah, we saw her miniature house.
And how does it smell? How does it smell? That's the last part.
I feel like it smells like outside, like it's nature.
That's
you know what
rich.
I mean?
The inside smells like nature. That's rich.
Because she getting fresh flowers put out every day.
Yes.
You know, everything is, she probably gets her stuff like hung up in the sunshine, like her
Absolutely.
sheets, you know, because she got land. She got places to do that.
She's like, I don't need the dryer. We sustainable here. Put that outside. Yeah,
everything is like sun warmed, and there's like bread. She love bread.
She love bread.
So it's just mad bread breaking all the time. Oh, I want to go to Oprah's house now. Okay.
Absolutely. Upstate for some bread where the inside of the house smells like nature. I mean,
that is a dream.
That's the dream.
When you go upstate for some bread, like that just,
I'm going to Auntie O's house. So we're gonna have some bread.
She got bread.
It's fresh. They make it there.
Yes.
All right.
Have you ever had fresh bread?
Yes.
It's
well, that like
it
like when people like make it. Well, you know, also my grandmother used to make bake, which is you know, Virgin Trinidad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And bake, when she would make the bake, which how would you describe bake for people who don't know?
I mean, it's more of a biscuit texture, I would think.
Okay,
biscuits is drier.
Yes.
More dense.
Yes.
Than a traditional like a loaf of bread or white bread.
Sure. Yes. A soft bread is like
because bake they to put stuff in it, right?
Yes.
And so it needs to be thicker to hold the other components.
To hold the saltfish, the ackee and stuff.
Look, I ain't had nothing but a Diet Coke all day. We gotta divert this conversation for my stomach get on there.
Well, let me ask you the big black folks question. So this is going to be a hard left, which I like to warn, but you know, we'll go. Janelle's like, don't do that to me. A hard left, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So the big black folks question of the day is, do you remember the first time being called a racial slur? Or
hell yeah,
the N-word. Oh, you remember? There we go. Okay, let's go.
It wasn't even, or it is the N-word. I was in New York, which it was the most shocking part of it to me because I always had the whole, you know, I'm not from the States.
Yeah.
So I always was like, oh, that happens in the South. I'm in New York where it's liberal and yada, yada, yada. And I was in the East Village on Astor Place. I remember it like it was yesterday. This has to be more than 20 years ago. And I was walking down the street and this white guy was like, hey, can I talk to you? And I was like, nah, or no, or what did I say? I think I said no. I was like, oh, not interested or something like that, you know, to try to keep it moving. He was like, oh, you so pretty. Why I can't talk to you? And doing that whole following you down the street thing that they only blame on black dudes. And so like white dudes do that shit too.
Yes.
And he was just like talking at my back, like, oh, you think you too good to talk to me? Da-da-da. Well, that's why you're a nigger. Like, I don't even like niggers. And so, of course, you know, I didn't want to talk to him. It wasn't like he was a friend or anything like that, but it hit me in a, well, first I was like, maybe it didn't hit me as hard because I was like, well, what if I had talked to this dude?
Yeah.
He was trying to pick me up.
Right.
And this is what he had in him. So that was like my first thought. Well, shit.
Right.
Thank God.
Like I
didn't stop the chat, you know.
Yes.
What I mean? And then just also just like, oh, this is New York. What are you doing? You know what I mean? That's what the feeling I had about it. But it really made me like, oh, this is everywhere. But I'll never forget it. That it hit me so hard in my chest in a way that I would have previously thought like, oh, I'd be like, whatever, you know what I mean? But it really like fucked up my day. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
What do you remember like because I always think of some Dr. Kira Banks talks about this as like these encounter moments that we have that are kind of like pivotal and they stay with us. And do you remember just like the feeling of that encounter? Like
yeah, I mean, it also became less annoyance and more danger. I was like, okay, is this dude, now he's behind me. That was already that's already scary for a woman to have a
Sure.
guy like trailing you. Then to be called an N-word, I was like, okay, now is he gonna like throw something at the back of my head, you know what I mean,
Right,
or try to
right. Yeah.
attack me or follow me or whatever. So yeah, I remember like danger. Like I remember what it felt like, you know.
Yeah. And do you
And
remember, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say in a different way. I mean, I remember every time I've heard, because I started comedy in the Midwest with all white dudes.
Yeah.
And so I remember every time I've even heard them say the word in joke form, in conversation way, like I remember every incident because it's such a thing that you're just not supposed to hear, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So yeah, I've heard many attempts to try to make a joke out of it, you know,
I mean,
and
what is your take on that? Because you're, I mean, this is like, you're a phenomenal, ferocious stand-up comic.
oh,
I'm yes, yeah. If y'all don't know, y'all fucking get on Janelle. And I'm in, I write in comedy TV, and something that always comes up, not necessarily in the room that I work in, but just in the comedy spaces, is like, what is an appropriate joke and what's PC,
right,
and is it okay for, I mean, obviously we know the answer that it's not okay for white dudes to say the N-word, but like
right,
when you're approached with that, when you hear, a white comic using N-word or making a racially insensitive or
right,
even a like derogatory towards women or queer people, what
right.
is your
I will say I have previously been, maybe that's changed, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I had previously been like, oh, what's the intent? I always feel like I can
yes,
tell if you think it is not always successful, but if you
sure,
think you've craft or are trying to craft some clever take on the word or whatever,
yes,
which part of me is like, that's not your job or space to do it. You
yes,
know
yes,
what I
yes,
mean? But whatever. But you a white dude, you've been around white people for the whole time, you feel like it is, you feel like
yeah,
it's a thing you can do. So I can feel, I always like, okay, I can feel what you're trying to do, that may turn out, or and then I'm trying to think if I've heard a clever n-word. I mean, I like Louis CK has one where he says, have you ever heard Louis CK's
not this
nigger
man.
joke? Even me saying it is like, ah.
No, my body shook. I said, he has a nigger joke. No.
Yeah, he does. He might have more than one. He it's about he about people making him think the word. Oh, he's saying when
Ah,
you say the N word, it makes him think the real word,
got it.
which I'm sure is truthful for him. But I'm like, that's some white boy shit. Because when I hear N word, I think N word. Like
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
It doesn't compute to nigger in my head.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I know what you're saying, but I don't hear it in my head. Is so that was his, which I guess could be thought of as clever if you're in a white mind space, and so I wasn't too offended by that because I felt like I knew what he was trying to
Sure. You
do.
understood the intention. There was some like care and
Then
like
there's
craft
the white
behind it.
comics who were just like, I can say it. I've been around black people. You know, that's always a setup. My
Oh
black
God.
friend told me I grew up just in last time I was in LA. I had a guy. I grew up in Compton, and my friend told me that. Now I'll heckle a motherfucker like that. Like I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
No.
Who is you gonna have to have your black friend next to you to do this
Right.
joke? I would like to speak to them because
Yes.
not only do I not believe you, this joke ain't even good. The punchline is just that you can say it. Like that's not a joke. That's not clever. You know what I mean? So
Drag him.
that's my yeah. I will either heckle them, or if I'm following them, I will talk about it. You know, because
Yes.
it's just like
Have you ever, can we just like clarify this? Like, I hear that too, where it's like, well, like I say my black friends, I could say it around them or whatever, because we're like cool. And it's like, I've never given a white friend
hell no.
permission
I
to
wish a
say
motherfucker would, and I do know black people like that though. I have
yeah.
let me do two people who are, and I wish I could say his name, but anyway, this motherfucker. I've talked to him about it, but whatever. He's in white spaces, and he's somebody that you would think is like down, that wouldn't stand for something like that, but for whatever reason, he's very cavalier about it. Like I don't care, and that's your prerogative. But now here's this person in this room with my black ass who don't
Right.
like that shit. You not even here now. You done gave so-called gave this permission,
quote unquote. Yeah.
And where's your your card? I need you to see. Like, what does permission from one person mean? I'm gonna need a permission slip or something to verify this, so I know who asked to be. Is what I think about it. But
that's so I know who's asked to be, for real. Well, I also
or who not to be around. I'm like, I don't want to be around no black people like that. Like,
more importantly,
what is a plus for me to give a white person permission to say the N-word?
And what does that even mean, that I gave
what does that even
permission?
mean?
And also, just like as a white person, it's like if your black friend gave you quote unquote permission to say the N-word, the lack of, well, what does that mean? Like, what does permission mean? Why do I
like,
want
why
to
you want to? Exactly. Why you so pressed? They so pressed.
You know that it's
everything.
Harmful. Everything.
The fuck? You can't say one word and you gonna
and y'all tight, y'all mad. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so
I'm like, why do you want to? I've pulled up on other comics like that too, like well known, that's in conversation, even just saying it in I heard someone else say it kind of way, and I'm like, yo, don't say that shit around me.
Yeah.
No, I just, because he said, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, don't say that around me. I don't care how woke or liberal you are. Like, I don't want to hear it.
Well, that energy to me is this is the point of this podcast. It's that it's that energy of you want what you can't have, right? And I think there is an energy that that I've experienced in white spaces or with white people, where they want what they can't have, and so they're always trying. They know they can't do this thing, but they want to test it. They want to see if they can get away with it.
A lot of these are, white people have different nationalities that have their own slurs. Talk about your shit. Jewish people got slurs that you would never. I don't hear nobody people doing Jewish slur jokes.
Right.
Why you why you over here? It's the same thing where the whole like in the 90s and still now with hacks, the joke used to be starving kids in Africa. I'm like, it's starving people in Appalachia. Talk about your own. Talk about your trailer park. Why you? Because the joke isn't starving kids in Africa. The joke is, let's laugh at black people. That's what that whole thing is. And it's like, they're starving white people right here. Why you over here?
Yes.
Making us the butt of a joke about something you have no idea about. You know what I mean? So
the intent.
I call all that shit out, and that's why I'll never be famous. Anyway.
I don't believe that. Everyone listening, you follow Janelle James. We're gonna make Janelle the most famous.
Janelle talk too much shit. That's what I said. Janelle James, she, her. I talk too much shit.
Well, let me tell you about the first time that I got called the N-word, because that is the racial slur. I mean, it's happened a couple times, but one of the times that I remember is actually kind of creepy, because I was in high school. I went to a boarding high school in Rome, Georgia. And I think it was in my sophomore, it was like my sophomore, junior year. I started getting phone calls, like out of a horror movie, kind of like distorted
prank call type thing.
Yeah, like distorted phone calls and text messages. And those distorted phone calls would call me the N-word. And there's obviously I've heard people say the N-word, like, and I could see their face. I know what they look like, but there is something terrifying, but also, like, my roommate who was black, it was so scary that you kind of laugh about it, because you're like, is this real? Like,
look, we could get on that. I'm just like, what a loser. You ain't got shit else to do?
Like, what?
Whenever I hear things like that, even it's going back, the burning of the crosses, like, y'all ain't got shit to do.
Y'all bored? You ain't got nobody else to take care of?
And I feel like they think that we're sitting around thinking about them with this. No, we over here making up new dances, doing all the slang, making all your pop culture, making all your
trends.
Like, oh, how can we call white people? Like, it's just such a sickness and such loser mentality.
Yes,
for people who are supposed to be the winners. I don't understand. But anyway, continue.
No, she talks and I live. We live. Yes. No, it is a loser mentality, but it's like that. I was asking, like, how you felt when you heard it, because I was just trying to remember, like, what was my initial reaction? Yeah, there was fear, but there was also like laughter, because I think, and you tell me if this is for you. For me, like, the N-word is this thing that you hear about and you know that your family has heard and gone through, but it's not something that I grew up experiencing just walking
Right.
the street, people saying
Right.
nigger, nigger, nigger.
Right.
And so when it happens, there's this like
are you a time traveler?
Like,
is this call from the past?
Like literally, like what is this? What does it mean? What is the intention there? Like, should I be scared? Like, are you like, should I
probably somebody with their pants off, some freaking loser getting off on that? Like,
come on. Like, do I stand up for myself in this moment, or is this actually really dangerous? You know, right. like how, as you said with this, you know, already as a woman having this white dude walking behind you, but then he says the N-word and you're like, okay, now how much more dangerous is this about to get?
And now I'm thinking about it like, oh, that was just another form of him wanting my attention.
Yes.
He thought he would say it. I would turn around. What you say? Like,
yes.
Negative attention is still attention. And thank God I learned that, you know, early on. So I kept it moving, but that's what he wanted. He wanted to be like, to confront him, you know, and that's just another reason to talk to me. Cause dude, you were just hitting on me 5 seconds ago.
Right. And now you mad. And so
now you mad. Okay.
You want to take the cheapest shot to get underneath my skin. That's
I'll be like, oh my God, you know what? I meant to give you my number. I was just going now that you said the N-word.
Oh my God, you said the N-word. You know that's my name, girl. Come in. Like, what?
What's your Instagram? Like, what do you want from me?
Like, get out of here. I remember you told me that story. I remember this one time. This is sometimes why white people are so terrifying to me sometimes. Obviously, I'm making a gross generalization. My husband's white, but I remember being on the subway.
No, I'm joking.
Always. I was on the subway in New York, I think like Union Square, but this like white dude in like a full suit, and this was like 5 o'clock in the evening. So like, but like right before rush hour really hit, like was just like staring at me like he wanted to start something. And I don't like to really do the confrontation stuff, so like I changed cars,
especially with a white dude in a suit. Like,
I mean, how that gonna go down?
Exactly.
I'm in my gym clothes because I was teaching fitness at the time, and here's this like tall white dude in a suit.
Who you gonna call?
Who
not Ghostbusters or the cops?
Come on now. How's this gonna end up? You know, it's like our homeboy watching birds in the park and white girl.
Yeah,
doing
and they
her
know
fuckery.
that's why they do on their shenanigans. So
that I think is the sinister part. And you know, this will come out later, but we just watched I just watched the VP debates last night, and just like what I took away from Mike Pence was like the evil, just like the sinisterness that you're
and his evil, and then the people who support him denying that evil. So you're like, oh, so you're also evil. And now it's like, well, how many of you are there? And it's like, how you can't look at not only him but Donald Trump's whole squad and not see a bunch of ghouls. Half their face are melting. They all look like aliens. They look like the weirdest loserous bunch of people, and that's your squad. Like, it's crazy.
That's your team that's the winning team.
You're like, he's a family man. Look at that guy. Like a literal fly lands on your head. Like, it's just so much symbolism. I am like reverse becoming religious during this shit. Like, that's what they wanted. It's happening because I'm like,
I said that ain't nobody but God. When that fly landed, I was like, Jesus. Hey, come on, Jesus.
Or devil. And said,
or the devil.
Right there in the form of a fly telling them what to say, because it was
wild.
I mean, that's what 2020 has been. It's like, if we wrote this in a pilot, they'd be like,
no,
a fly, come on now.
Come on, a fly lands perfectly on his head and stays there for
inside,
like 5 minutes
during debates.
Yeah,
on TV. Come on now, never.
Literally, I'm very excited about the television that will come in the next couple of years, because everything that should not have happened.
I want to get the Men in Black stick. Like, I don't even remember none of this shit. Just take this shit.
Just like do that flash. I don't need to remember any of it. But yes, just like that energy is sometimes of white people of actively trying to start something, and then knowing in that moment, even when you are called the N-word, because it's like, you know what, I was called the N-word, that's grounds to fight, but yet there's still this, we've been talking about on the show, mental aerobics and awareness. That's what they want. And you know, at the end of the day, that like you're gonna get in trouble, that I'm gonna get in trouble, not
Isn't
white boy.
Life grand?
Isn't it great, girl?
Yeah, it's a real mind fuck.
It is. How do you? I mean, that's a mind fuck, and then obviously just the last couple months with the world kind of waking up to this.
Ugh, which also makes me mad. Like, okay, welcome. We've been here.
Yes. So tell me, how does that feel? That's what I want to know. Like, what? How is this? How was the last, let's just say, 5 months been for you? Like, what has been your headspace about all of that?
Well, like I was talking to what I would consider a good friend of mine, a white dude. That he was just like, and one good thing about this might be that now everybody's finally did. I was like, yeah, nigga, but we've been saying that. Like, why
Yeah.
you need, but it's a thing and has been studied and talked about it in how certain white people or maybe all of them don't have empathy for other people unless it happens directly to them.
Right.
So now that they're out on the front lines getting tasered and paintballs and bullets, rubber bullets to the eyeballs, and they're like, holy shit. It's like, yo, we've been saying that.
Yes.
We've been saying cops are whack. We've been saying that, shit is fucked up. We've been saying Trump is whack. We weren't ever on his side. Like,
right.
So to see this whole awakening is like great, but also fuck out of here.
Yeah.
you want a cookie, nigga? Like, look. The fuck?
Just like, a nice little a weak clap. Thank you. Welcome.
Rounds of applause.
Welcome to the party, honey. Yeah, I mean, it has been quite the mind fuck in terms of. I
get some money for this.
Hey, you better you plugging that Diet Coke. Come on.
I didn't mean to. I just thought about it. Like,
hey, let me get some coins.
They're evil. That's why I'm addicted to this. Okay.
There's evil in that soda. Yeah. Yeah. The mind fuck has been, and like for me, the mind fuck has been like trying to hold space for multiple things. One being like, yes, like this is enraging. Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, we've been saying this. Welcome to the party. Also wanting to hold space for like the people that are close to me that are like, I genuinely didn't know, and like I want to learn. I want to do better.
So I can believe that and understand that, and also I also want them to think like, I want them to be remorseful about that as well. I didn't know because I didn't care. Oof. I've just been lolly-dotty around life, and so that's why I can't even get happy about this awakening, because I know people are like, if it could just go back to when Obama was like president, I felt happy. I didn't have to pay attention, didn't have to learn about black people, and shit was still happening to us.
Yes,
it wasn't no fucking Shangri-La. It's not that Trump has made things so much worse. He's made it worse in that we all have to see it.
Yes,
you know what I mean, and it's in our face, and now they finally have to pay attention. But I'm like, I know a lot of people who think, oh, now we'll get Biden and everything will be great, or I don't have to pay attention anymore. I mean, it's already happened. All the new white people follows I got on Twitter has already, retracted.
Yes, the engagement has dipped.
Like, that's enough of that.
That was fun for June. I'm tired.
I did 3 protests. I have given, so
I donated twice. I'm good.
That's the fucking privilege. They get to dip in and out of this shit, and this is our constant, which is so fucked up. And I always feel like, what did we do?
Right.
To deserve this existence, except be fly as fuck.
And amen.
That's all we've done.
But okay, not to like. I know if we were high, we would feel like we could go in.
Come on now.
Come on, bring that out.
I don't do interviews over. Come on.
Oh, I love that. If I was high right now, y'all would not even. This interview would be very different.
I'd be like, so you can't put that out. So I'm gonna need you.
I'd be like, Judith, edit. Judith, cut, edit, cut.
You get a long email after this. So at minute 54, when I said crackers,
can you edit that out? No, but what I'm trying to ask is, as Black people experiencing this, we've done nothing but be fly as fuck. But do you believe, or do you think, and it's okay if you don't, but like, is there a larger learning or a larger purpose to this pain and this suffering, or have you ever?
I feel like that's what we've been taught to believe.
Sure.
Like, oh, that's where religious black people come from. This
Right.
is the hell for your reward, and I don't buy none of that shit. I'm trying to live now, and
Yeah.
so I'm just constantly
Amen.
upset about how much of my life minutes is wasted being fearful, thinking about this. The same way they have been upset about having to think about it for 6 months. I am upset for having to think about it my whole goddamn life. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
no, I don't think it's any. I feel like it's evil people
Yeah.
who have done amazing marketing for themselves. You know what I mean? And has systematically made sure that our populace is uneducated and has no critical thinking skills,
Mm-hmm.
and has been taking away their money and healthcare and way of living, and has been successful in blaming it on other people. And that's what it
Yeah.
is. And those people with their no power are now comfortable redirecting their anger to us who ain't got shit except
Right.
being fly as fuck. And
Hey,
I really
amen.
think that's what Obama brought in. It wasn't that he was a black president. It was just that all these white people who had never had to even see us before now got had us Nas in the White House. Like, you know what I mean? And
Right.
we were too happy for a second. I have a
Yes.
joke about that. Like, black people can't be too happy because then white people are like, wait a minute, what's
What's going
y'all
on?
they having a meeting because they think we're as consumed with them as they are with us. So they like they gathering.
Yeah. They having a meeting.
They got power now. It must be because they coming to get us. Like, no, they like we just trying to
Right.
chill. You
Right.
know, so it's just it's very upsetting. Like, just leave
That,
us alone. Leave me
honey,
alone.
leave us
Why you on
alone.
the train in your suit mad dogging me? Like, you have all
Right.
the power. Chill. You fucking loser. Anyway,
Yes. Wait, I gotta hit on two things. One, I think you're
sorry.
no, don't you dare be sorry.
I'm
This
like,
is
you done got me
everything.
started.
This is everything. One about when you said everyone thinks, once we get Joe Biden, everything will be fine. And
Yeah.
I really want to step that out and be like, yeah, for me personally, I've never been as engaged with an election as I am for this
Sure.
one,
Yeah.
because I think that I just did what my parents did, which is like, you vote Democrat. And so I voted for Hillary and
Yeah.
thought that would be fine. And then it
Right.
wasn't. And now it's like, yeah, the system doesn't work. So no matter who
Right.
you put in there, the system is not
Well,
for
I mean, I
us.
feel like a lot of us are voting to get Trump to shut the fuck up. I know that's a
Yes,
part. Like, I
for
just don't even want to
sure.
see this nigga no more. Like, go on
Absolutely.
your little cable channel or whatever he gonna do after this. Your little Apprentice season
Which is
30 or
which
whatever.
also that fucking sucks that he gonna have
Ain't
something to
nothing
do
gonna happen to
after
him.
this.
He gonna spin it. He gonna spin it. Yeah. So I just don't want to have to engage or hear about this motherfucker ever again. Like, really,
Yes.
and I think that's like nobody's voting for Biden. We're voting against Trump. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes. At this point, you have to vote
ugh.
against Trump, but it's like
And his ghouls. I don't see none of them doing none
none
of those
them
unqualified,
nasty ass
weird men in
losers
blackface ass niggas anymore.
they got to
They
go.
creep me out.
They
Go
got
back
to
into
go.
your hellhole. Like, I'm sure, and we'll see if even
They're
the
gonna have
whole
to
thing is
sage the
whether he
fuck out of that
accepts
White House.
that he loses. That shit is gonna open like a hole is gonna open up. Actually, that
Literally.
happened. Remember that happened?
Wait.
It's been so much weird symbolic shit happening since Trump has been in office. And I don't think, and it sucks that all the racism, that's what sucks about racism. Racism is so all encompassing with everything that is happening in America for everyone. That's what other thing white people don't understand. Like, us being fucked up fucks them up too. Every
Yes.
gain black people get, white people jump 2 slots. You know what I mean?
Oof.
It
Yes,
is
I
what it
do know
is.
what you mean. Yeah.
So it's just like they're so fucking stupid. But anyway, and because of that, and it's by design. Because of racism, you can't pay attention to all the other shit that's happening and all the things that they're doing to us. Also, you can't pay attention to all the weird shit that's happening. A
Right.
literal a sinkhole did open up in front of the White House, like a
Shut
couple
up.
months after Trump.
Shut up. I
Yes.
don't remember nothing
Steve
about that.
Bannon had a pool full of acid in his property. Like, nobody is talking about all just the
The
weirdo shit that's
weird.
surrounding fucking Stephen Miller in middle school writing papers about immigrants. Like, why are you such a fucking weirdo? Like, why are these people in power and have so much power over us? These are fucking monsters. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
that's why I feel like this election is so engaged, because it's just like, I ain't never seen. I mean, we have. I mean, maybe me and you, our
Yeah. Yeah.
generation, has not seen evil like this. My mom and such,
Right.
Like this how it's always been. You know what I mean?
Yes. But for us, we're like, wait, what? I didn't know the
When Trump
world.
got elected, I was so freaked out. Like I was freaking. And I called my mom, and she was like, "That's what it."
Yeah.
Like it's like she knew. She was like, "We're not gonna go from Obama to another." Like
Right.
we get a little crumb, and then they react in a totally opposite way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They
Yeah.
got to
The
dial it back, and they
pendulum
done. Yeah, they dialed us back to
swung.
1940. Man,
Right.
it's crazy.
Which I also think to your point of like, well, one, the Joe Biden thing, which I want to make sure that we say is like, it's like you vote this man out, but then we have to stay engaged in what this system is and how to break this
And
down.
one thing I've been telling myself to feel better about Biden is not only do we get Trump out, but Biden seems to be and the people he's surrounding himself with lately seems to be someone that we can push in the direction that we want.
Yes.
Trump came in, nothing Trump is doing has been a surprise. They laid this out day one. This is what we're gonna do. Dismantle this,
Dictatorship.
Yeah, they doing it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So Biden at least seems like he would take input from the populace. You know what I mean? Trump ain't, so
Trump ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So it's like, but like, as you say, like Obama got in, black people got real happy. And so we stopped. I'll say for me, I stopped engaging. Like once he was in the house, I was like, cool.
I mean, I'm not even an Obama stan, but that's the most relaxed I feel like I've been in my adult life. Just not that racism stopped, not that I stopped being harassed, not that it was just like,
literally
they couldn't take it. They were like, these black people out here sighing happiness.
I'm seeing too much joy, too much black joy.
You know what's coming next. You know what I mean? And it's just like, and it's just so nonsensical. We are such a small amount of the population, and we have always been by design. Our population doesn't even grow by design.
Yes.
But yet we're coming to take over. Like, come on, get out of here.
Yeah. But you know what it really is? Like, and you know, this is not a surprise, but the darkness of it is, which is to your point of like, how did you not know? Like when people go, I didn't know. It's like, how did you not know? It's like, you have to know on some level, which is why there's a suppression of black folk, because
you have to know.
You have to know, because if we were to get power, the fear is that we're going to get power and we're going to retaliate, right? Like at the bottom of the face.
So you know there's something to be retaliated.
So you know there exactly. You know that there's something to retaliate against. Hello. Exactly.
So yeah, that's why I ain't handing out no cookies. Get out of here.
No cookies from Janelle. Absolutely not. No. Ugh.
You get a Triscuit. Dry ass. Not even a good flavor, one of the experimental flavors. Some basil oregano shit.
And a craft single, some craft singles.
Right. The white cheddar where you like, what?
What is that? In the plastic. A little piece of it. You can taste the process.
Yes.
I'm here.
Nothing. I mean, and I still got my white friends or whatever, but I don't give them no slack on this shit. It's like and I have been thinking, I don't want to go into that. Anyway, go ahead.
But question about the slack, and if you don't want to go, we don't have to. But like, have you? Because I've been trying to work with my relationship with white people, and when at the start of all this, I said like I am done taking care of white feelings, because I feel like everything that I feel like I hate confrontation to begin with, and so when I move,
what's your sign?
Taurus, Sagittarius rising. I act more like a Sagittarius, because Taurus are bulls and Taurus like, but Sagittarius I think is a little quieter. But I don't like to, because also like, just being a black comedian in this industry, like you're just trying to like get to the next whatever. And so you sometimes hear some fuck shit. And I personally have not always known how to engage or to had the energy to have the conversation and be like, sir.
Well, I will say, and this is a total like a turn. So again, I'm from the Virgin Islands, and I've been in the States for 20 years, but I always say I am in an advantage in that I grew up in my formative years in a majority black place, and I really do feel like I don't have the same.
Yeah.
I mean, now the longer I'm here, the more the burden is on my back.
Sure.
I didn't arrive with all the shit that Black Americans have put on them since birth.
Yeah.
You come out the pussy and they're like, you ain't shit. Like I never had. That's fucked up. You know what I mean? So so in my dealings with white people, my dealings with white people in the islands they were tourists. Like that
Right.
we would
You
be
on
like, oh,
my
that's money.
yeah.
That's what white
Hey.
people are. You money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I never had any reverence for them. I never thought that they were superior or so like I remember coming here and not knowing about like colorism in that way. Like, oh, so for instance, I have Indian in my family, like that type of
Mhm.
shit. Like my grandmother is Arawak 100%, but not. And I'm saying that as a point of pride, and then coming to the States and having Black people think you're saying it because you want to be something other than Black. So just little
Ah.
things like that, where
Yes.
it's like I've never thought about wanting to be light skinned or any of
Right,
those.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like if anything, I've always wished I was darker. You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
um, so it's just a different mentality, and I feel like that's also why immigrants come here and do better. We don't have that ingrained
Yes.
from birth, you ain't shit to hold back. We have better education, we have better
Yes.
nutrition, everything that white people have in the place where we
Yes.
started out, you know what I mean? So sometimes I feel like I can't even comment on, well, I feel like I'm here, been here long enough, but
Right.
I always remember that I don't have that programming.
Yeah.
And so when people from here, when you see like Black American success stories, like those are superheroes. How much
Yeah.
shit did you fight through mentally to make it in anything? It's
Right.
ridiculous. It's
Right.
crazy.
Was
So
your son born here?
no.
Okay.
Wait, my son. No, I'm sorry. My son is
Yeah.
born here. Yes,
So
both. I have two
have
sons. They're both born here.
both of
Yeah.
you born here? Did they
Mhm.
have the same? Have you noticed that they have more of your energy of like fuck this, white people or tourists, or do they have some of that Black American? Because my point is, or my question is, my grandmother was also an immigrant and my mother
Mhm.
was too, and
Mhm.
they have your energy, but
Yeah.
I had to like undo a lot
Yeah, I mean, it's who you grow
of
up around. So
yeah.
both my kids are growing up in the suburbs. That's been a point of contention for me, where it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah.
then they also have me. So
Right.
you try to make sure they remember who they are and what's
Yeah.
going on. So my kids are, and I also think, luckily, like this generations of kids, they mad woke. They know what's
Very
going on.
true. Very
Even the white
true.
kids are like, this is fucked up. You know what I mean? Like I listen to my son's friends who are the majority white boys, and they are just as upset as everyone else. So
Yes.
that makes me hopeful.
Yeah, for sure.
That they won't be a generation that's like, I didn't even know. You know what I mean? They can't. This
Yeah,
generation can't say that.
they
You know
can't
what
say
I mean?
that.
It's in their face. And they're growing up around more Black people and others than maybe
Yes.
previous generations. So
Yes, and I also think like like the younger generation coming up, and I'm still young, but just even younger
mhm.
are stepping like I'm having to learn how to speak up, and this whole thing of like, how do I not make white people like not actively make white people uncomfortable, but like I'm not going to keep you comfortable when you fuck up. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
confront it.
So yeah,
So like
exactly.
let's go. But that's like my work, and I feel like the younger generation coming up is already has that it has that ingrained.
Oh, they'll check you. Actually, that's not, you know what I mean? I'm like, hey,
Hey, okay, okay.
that happened to me just last night. I had a joke on Twitter. I ain't gonna say what it was, but somebody made a joke, and in the other comics, and this is not only yeah, I'm just older,
Yeah,
and so I grew up in a time where certain jokes were funny,
yeah,
and so I had a like on there, you know what I mean? Then I
yeah.
went back on, and everybody were like, "You need to take this joke," and then I looked at it again. I was like, "Oh yeah, that is kind of,
Sure,
but
yes.
that was illuminating for me, and like, oh, I have ideas in me too, still."
Yes.
And this and it was and so it was a younger comic I saw talking about it, and I texted her and I said, I laughed at the joke, and
Yeah.
she was like, shame, jokingly, like, shame on you type thing, but it really made me think of it like, oh yeah, the younger generation is not playing that
We're
shit,
not playing this game.
yeah.
That's real. That's real.
So where I was like, oh, I could see intent. I could see how you might try to make a joke about the N-word and it could be smart. This generation is like, nah, I ain't trying to hear that shit.
Nope.
And that's great.
That's
They like,
great.
I don't give a fuck about your little clever joke. You know what I mean? So
You should
that's
make the
great.
joke. And
Yeah.
you're like, I
I
live
don't
for
want to
that.
hear it. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's
Yes.
great. That's great.
Yes. Well, I got one more question for you because I
Sure.
can't believe how fast time has flown.
I be talking.
We be talking. This was great. This was great. Let me do the like what this may have nothing to do with what we've just spoken about, but kind of
Okay.
related. what do you feel that your intention, Janelle James, like what is your intention for yourself for the next for 2021? 2020 is a wrap.
It's over. This
It's
shit don't even count. Like I always say, this was supposed to be my 10th year of comedy. No,
it don't
it's
count.
9. It's 9.
It's still 9. But for 2021, what's your intention? How does Janelle want to live her life in 2021?
I don't have which is probably why I don't make as much money as I don't have like career goals or anything like that. I just always want to continue to work with people that I want to work with, not sell out, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And that's not a broad term. That's selling out for me. Just last night, I turned down working with somebody that I don't fuck with. And so if I can continue to be in that comfortable and still making a living and not having to do things that I don't believe in or I think is corny or problematic or whatever, that's what I'm gonna just continue to do. And so when I do that, I'm happiest. And so my intention for 2021 is to continue to be happy. In every way that I can. And so and then also as I'm getting older, I'm still figuring out who I am. And so I think I've gotten quarantine been good for that. I'm like, damn, I did not these 2 years I was faking a funk or whatever, like it's giving you reflection time or whatever. So I'm really just trying to be more myself and also be the person that I think people see me as, which is a weird. I'm like, when I hear people talk, or at least believe I'm the person that people describe me as. When I hear people talk about me, I'm like, she sounds amazing, but I don't believe that all the time, and so I want to believe it.
Yes.
So that's
I love that.
My intention.
My intention for 2021 is similar to yours, which is that I want to be my most authentic self. The thing I keep saying is like, who would I be?
That's the best way to say it. What you said. I did a whole round away.
No, what you said. You said you're the one who inspired. I'm like, I've been saying, I want to
be my most authentic self.
Be my most authentic self, which I think will lead me to my happiest self, right? Because you're not living for, as you say, you're not selling out. You're not living for other people. You're living for yourself. Right. And also, I love that piece of like, people are seeing us in such a beautiful way, and you want to believe that, because that is who, I mean, your energy, Janelle. I couldn't wait to talk to you because I see you on the internet and I'm like, oh, she's so funny. She's so positive. She's so real and raw and talented. And so I'm excited that I got to have this conversation with you. And
same.
Yes.
Yeah, that flew, like you said, that flew.
It flew. Well, thank you. And we got to do it again. And I can't wait for this quarantine to be over because we're gonna do something together, right? Come on, Netflix. 2021.
September 2021. I ain't even positive for spring. September
2021. I'll see you.
I'll see you then.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.